Woo. Hey! No, 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 no. Oh.
Okay, Lite Nation, we need your help.
The side chick, my buggy, is a hot, hot mess. And you'll find out in this video just how bad it is.
It's bad.
But before we get into this nightmare, we just got back from Thailand and we found out something that we need all of your help with.
Yeah, so y'all need to listen up here. Come closer.
Closer.
Matt's Off-Road Recovery is having another off-road games, and it's coming up very soon. And as soon as we got back from Thailand, we found out that they're having another off-road games.
And a lot of our friends, aka a lot of the other YouTube channels that you guys watch, have already been invited. But from what we understand, there is one final spot left, one invitation remaining.
And we don't have an invite yet.
We want that invite and we need your help. It's not often we ask you to spam anyone or anything, but we need your help spamming the ever living hell out of all of Matt's off-road comments and let him know to invite us. Give us that last spot. We don't know if we'll take the side chick or we don't know if we'll take the stepchild if we get that invitation, but either way, you know it's gonna be a blast if we show up.
Well, I mean, why don't you tell us, should we take the side chick or the stepchild? Because they're both really good at different things and we don't know what we'll be doing.
But in the meantime, help us get that invitation.
Yeah.
And while you do that, or after you do that, stay tuned to figure out just how bad this is.
Matt should have uploaded a video same day. Go to that video and put in there that we need that spot.
What's up, Brite Nation? A wonderful morning here in Utah. As a lot of you know, the rover had an issue at one point, but she's fine. I've driven her back and forth to Colorado twice now on those adapters that everybody thinks that are terrible. In my little hiatus, I know there hasn't been a shop video lately, but it's because I've been doing a couple of things behind the scenes, like the Audi's broken right now. She needs a heater core, so I worked on that for a couple of days. And I don't know if you remember, but Kevin bought this cute little Jimny, right? But when he got it, it had a blown head gasket. So we went through. I went ahead and built a fresh motor for this little puppy. She got a whopping 100 horsepower, I think, with that Terpski on there. So it's got a old Terpski, but it has a new manifold. We put a new head gasket on it, had the head done, gave her a little TLC and a little cleaning up, and she runs good. We're just waiting for some tires to get here because these tires are old and they're from Japan. Another thing we got going on, Brittany's buggy. So this thing's been having some issues. Not bad ones, just doesn't want to run right. It's that time of year we're gonna go through it. So we're gonna tear this thing apart, see what she needs. Probably be a couple of different videos because I know we want to put some electronics in this. We want to do a new switch panel for this. We got to go through the engine. I know Kevin got her a bunch of cool parts. So I'm gonna make this thing reliable again. But the first thing I got to do is try to get it into the shop because it doesn't want to run real well. Good Lord. Woo. First you get in it. Let me go like this. We go power. There it goes. We got that going. Let me turn the ignition on. One more. Fuel pump. Give her a couple pumpies. 1, 2, and contact. Come on, Bessie. As you can see, she doesn't like to start. Come on, baby. Hey! No, 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 no. Hey, come on, baby, come on, come on. don't stall, don't stall. Yes! She runs great. I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. Runs great. So a couple things Brittany doesn't like is the brakes. She says the brakes don't hold real well, but I think that we might just rebuild the calipers in the back because I don't think they're actually working. Maybe all 4 of them we'll just rebuild. We'll do that first, and if that doesn't work, then we're gonna go to a Hydro Boost system, but a remote Hydro Boost system because we do have the orbital and the big pump and stuff in here, so that'll all work out really well. As you notice, it doesn't run on all 8 cylinders. So we're gonna get in there and figure all that out, get that cleaned up. Maybe put some new parts in there. I know that last year the muffler blew up, so they patched it together for the rest of the season. I might have to get in here and just do like from here back new exhaust. I do know that we want to upgrade all these switches and get rid of all these switches, and I have her 4-wheel drive, her locker switches leak. They're mechanical air switches. I'll show you what they look like, but I think this one leaks, and it leaks out of the top of the switch, which is really weird. So I have 2 new ones of these. They're gonna go in because she really likes these. She doesn't want to put them on like a electronic switch or something, so I don't know why. And we're just gonna go through here. I know she has a front diff leak, so this front diff leak's pretty good. So we're gonna go through this and fix that. But one of the first things we're gonna do is get it all torn down and cleaned up. All right, so we blew the wheels off of it and we took the hood and stuff off of it. There's a couple more panels we got to get out of here. I want to get this panel out of here so that I have access to the motor. We are going to take the door panels off, the lower skid panels. We'll probably pull the 2 seats and we'll pull the floor because I know the exhaust runs through there and I know we have to do that. Probably get these calipers off, and we'll probably get the whole brake system like flushed because we know all that has to happen. So today's pretty much just going to be like a complete tear down. We did notice that pinion seals leaking, so we'll probably have to drop the drive lines and I'll have to do the pinion seals, and then we'll just get a general cleanup. But for now, we're just gonna do a complete tear down on this today. We'll get to ordering some parts and get this thing ready to be worked on, I guess. All right, so we got most of it torn apart. The next thing I want to do is try to get some of the seats and stuff out of it. Well, not some, but both of the seats out of it so that I can get underneath it. The battery's on the driver's side, the exhaust runs down the passenger side. But typical, I don't know who put this thing in here last, but trying to get it out of here. And I get the seat unbolted, but there's wiring that runs literally through the seat, and I traced it, and it goes up to that dome light, and then like around the seat frame, and then like across, and you know me and wiring. I hate it when other people do it because they just make it work, and now I gotta make it functional. So I'm gonna rip all that out. One thing leads to another. Oh, and it gets even better. So I got the seat up. The wiring is zip tied to the seat belt bracket. So yeah, we're gonna cut all this out of here, and I will probably tidy that up considerably. I don't like that, so yay. All right, got the seat out, but the other thing I'm noticing is this is 3/8 line, 3/8 inch, 300 PSI, but I don't think it's fuel line, and it looks like it's pinched that fuel line right off, so yeah, we're gonna be replacing all that for sure. I also noticed there's a pressure gauge here and an air pressure regulator. So I don't know what that goes to, so we'll probably make that a little bit more convenient to get to for whatever it is. So we're gonna get that out of there. And these are the air, oh, I broke that one anyway, but we're replacing them. I don't like where they are, Brittany does, so we're gonna leave them right where they are. We are gonna probably redo those too and make those much nicer. Yeah, I just don't like that stuff. So that's gonna get redone. All right, another thing I noticed is that the rear brake line is hard lined and it runs across this upper door tube and then runs down, which I'm not super opposed to, except for the fact that this could be all air. And that's probably why they're having such a hard time getting the back brakes to bleed. So I might rerun this line. probably down, either straight down and around this bottom tube, which is heavily protected, and it looks like it might even be a lot shorter of a line than running all the way up here and down. I'm gonna get a list of things together here we might want to change. I don't know about these rock lights. So we're probably gonna rip all this stuff out of here, which will clean all the wiring up considerably. Oh, they got a nice connector on there. It's a Deutsch of some sort, so that's kind of cool. But we'll go through and probably get rid of all these too as we go. There's a lot of funky stuff going on in here. We'll get her all cleaned up. All right, now that we got it pretty much torn apart and all the floors out of it, it actually doesn't look like that bad. Like the wiring had a purpose in here, and it looks like the bones were actually put together pretty well. It was just all the add-ons were just kind of like thrown in the chassis. So I'm pretty happy about that. We are going to throw the wheels back on it. We're going to push it out the door and give her a bath because she's a lot dirtier inside than I thought it was going to be. We're going to give her a quick bath, get her back in here, and then we're going to assess what exactly we're going to do. All right, she's back in and all cleaned up. I was gonna take the roof off, but the dome light was physically attached to the roof, so you can't take that off because the wiring goes all the way down into this mess in here somewhere. The chase light was bolted directly to the roof, and I don't like that either, so what I'm gonna do is build some tabs off the cage and actually mount the light on the cage so that you can take the roof off. And I will probably put some smaller dome lights and I'll incorporate them up here so that she'll have dome lights, which is funny. Actually, they've never really wheeled this thing at night, so I don't know why it needs rock lights or dome lights or anything like that, but I am gonna cut out all this and then I'll go find Brittany and see if she wants me to put some dome lights and stuff back in it. So I'll get this cleaned up and I'll go find Brittany. All right, so we got most of the wiring cleaned up. I am gonna take this EFI system out of here because we are getting a new one. And this is part of the wiring mess that's in here. It's not really a mess, but you know. It's part of the wiring that's in here. So we're gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna try to clean the next system up. Kevin and Brittany will tell you all about that here in a little bit. Yeah, I do notice that the throttle cable has been rubbing on the coil wire, so that's dangerous. That was a fire waiting to happen. So we're just about done, so now I gotta go find Kevin and Brittany and we're gonna go over some plans on this thing and we'll see what we're gonna do next. Oh yeah, my public service announcement for the day is don't use self-tappers to ground anything, or in this case, everything. Every ground on this thing was a self-tapper into the frame. So we're gonna put some dedicated ground lugs on the frame when we do this, and everything will have a ground on the frame, not through a self-tapper. So that was interesting. Yeah, there was a lot of them. So we just got home in time.
From Thailand.
From Thailand. Just in time to discover that my buggy was apparently a ticking time bomb the entire time I've been driving it.
But you know what's funny is that we've been touting how we bought it. We've not done anything to it, and it's just been so darn reliable and so nice, and whoever had it must have done a really great job building it or something. And she's just been driving it and putting bigger tires and adding water to the tires and doing harder and harder stuff. When now that our good old buddy Chris here has torn into it, we found that it's mostly nothing mechanical, right? It's
held together with duct tape and bubble gum.
Yeah, and the wiring.
There's some melted wiring in here, which I think it melted, and they didn't like what they were doing with it, so then they repurposed that wiring because it already went to the front to do something else. So half of the winch wiring is the high beams for the headlight. Yeah, just trust me. And then here's all your ground bolts.
Little self-tappers?
Yeah.
Just all over the chassis?
They were everywhere. Like I said, we're going to put some ground lugs in it.
That'll work better. So Chris kind of showed me a couple of these things yesterday, and last night I couldn't sleep because time zone's like 14 hours off.
Kevin woke me up.
No.
At 4.
Well, yeah, because I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah. Kevin woke me up at 4 a.m. to tell me about the brake lines. No, the fuel lines?
The fuel lines.
To tell me about the fuel lines on the buggy. And I'm like, cool. Go back to bed now.
So I have ADHD, and at night I can't sleep, and my brain just goes all over the place on everything that's happening in life and some things that don't even matter. That's just what my brain was on at that point. And I was like, oh, babe, by the way.
No. That's not what you did. First, you told me about squirrels.
No. The evolution of crickets.
The evolution of crickets, that's what it was.
At 4 in the morning?
At 4 in the morning. He's like, I can't sleep. He goes, I'm just thinking about the evolution of crickets. And he goes, oh yeah, by the way, your fuel lines are like air hose.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
What?
This is air hose. These are your 2 fuel lines, and they're air hose. So they're 300-pound bursts.
Specifically.
So yeah, these are air hose. So we're gonna change that out for sure. And your oil lines are about to burst. I'm not exactly sure what these hose clamps are for, but you can see it's pretty chewed up. And I don't know what's in there. There might be something in there, but I don't know what the hose clamps are for. We're gonna change these out because they look like they're about to bust. We might go through and just give this thing some TLC and some new lines and hoses and stuff.
Chris, because this is a good run though. I was gonna say in our defense. That's not in our defense. This is actually like against our defense. When we bought this, we did nothing. Like we didn't take it apart. We really didn't even do a once over on anything.
You literally took it straight to the trail.
Yeah, we bought it, took it straight to the trail, and that's all it's like. We've once, I think we nut and bolt check it because we realized that the knuckle basically.
Oh yeah, the knuckle. I think that was twice.
Yeah, twice maybe. So there's been little things here and there, but this is the first time we've ever actually gone through this, and we've owned it for how long now? 2 years.
But it needs pinion seals front and rear.
It needs
I don't
everything.
think. Okay, so I don't think we're gonna rebuild the transmission right now. I think
That's solid.
Well, it has a weird shifting thing, and then there's a.
Only at high speeds, and I'm never usually. I mean, it doesn't go very high speed, but I'm really. We're not worried about that. So if you watch some of the old rock crawling wheeling videos, there's a few times where I'm on an obstacle and I can't get my transfer case levers like to shift well. And you'll actually see me like lift my foot up and kick them. 50% of the time, it works 100% of the time. But I think mostly the issue is. So I was gonna say mostly I think the issue is generally like non-use.
It's still not
because we go so long periods in between like wheeling the buggy. I don't know. Maybe it's just.
Shifting like butter.
Don't worry about it. I'll figure it out.
On the front.
Oh, there it is.
Right there.
Yeah, there's a little grease fitting. So.
Oh, there's 2 then, because you got that one and that one.
So what's all this wiring mess in here? Is that all? Is that all for the ECU? Is that all for the?
No, this is for the ECU. This is the ECU. I'm pretty sure this was. These are like all the lights and the bull crap. Half of that is not even plugged in. So only half of that. There's only 2 wires on that whole block.
Only 2 wires in that whole block.
So we're gonna get rid of that.
And what's even worse is that the only reason like the teardown is even like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and just do it, wasn't because of any of that, or the fact that like the engine runs like shit, or any of the mechanical issues or leaky diff or anything like that. It's because on the last obstacle that I was on, I was sideways for a long time, and I got so mad that I didn't have like an oh shit handle to like brace myself against, and I was having like the worst core workout in the history of ever. And that plus I was like, also I want cup holders. So those were the 2 main reasons that I was like, yeah, let's start working it.
Yeah, let's ignore the fact that she only had primaries ever working, and then those 2 primaries were down to 1, so the vehicle just actually wouldn't run anymore.
It was running on 1 single solitary primary.
Primary injector.
Yeah.
For you guys at home.
Yep.
So that's why it ran rough and it wouldn't accelerate because the secondaries would never work. But she doesn't accelerate anyway because it's a buggy.
It wasn't like.
Sometimes you gotta send it up a wall.
Sometimes. But she'd have to.
It just wasn't a big enough deal to like worry about because it's a slow rock crawler anyway.
But so this whole time we've had it, she's only had 50% fuel. She's only had 2 out of 4 injectors working.
And then
the entire
25.
time.
And then 25% fuel.
And then
at
at the end, it just wouldn't barely run, which was down to 1 injector. And the only reason there's 4 injectors for an 8-cylinder is because it's throttle body injected. It's
Oh, did we
electronic
even-
throttle body injection.
Have we even been
I haven't gotten that far. I was waiting for you guys.
So it's a Ford 302.
Yes. With,
For everyone who, I don't know, people ask, and I feel like we never really go over it. It's got a Ford 302 with a Ford transmission.
And we don't know what's done to the motor. I have no idea. It could be stock. It could have stuff done. We have no. It says trick flow. It might have trick flow heads on it.
Valve covers on it.
Yeah, it has valve covers that say trick flow. We don't know. We never even pulled the valve covers to see if there's like valve springs and rockers in there.
Have we
like,
ever done like an oil change or anything?
yeah. We've done that.
We have?
I think so.
Have we?
I don't remember.
Anyway, so it has like an 18-year-old. I don't know how old. It has an older Holley system on it.
Yeah.
And it works. Well, it did work. Everything in it worked, but it's old and the drivers are bad. So I got with Holley and I was like, hey, I need new injector drivers because it's not the injectors because I can move them around and that injector will, like, that one injector, 2 injectors are fine. So it's got to be the drivers. They're like, we don't make anything for that old of a unit.
It's like,
So,
it's that old. Like,
yeah.
they don't make anything for it. It's discontinued, essentially. Like,
So it's ran for a long, long time. But luckily, Holley makes new stuff for it. So I'd assume originally this was just carbureted, which carburation actually is pretty good and all. But when you start getting at big angles and doing crazy stuff, and you've got floats and fuel
your bowls
and valves
empty out.
and the bowls and stuff happen. The best thing to do is to go throttle body injection. So somebody did that a long time ago on this, like a long, long time ago on this. And this is a very basic throttle body injection system, but it all works, and it's been fine if it wasn't for the drivers. Holley now has some new stuff out.
Introducing Sniper EFI.
So Chris was just telling me that this looks completely different.
we
I
haven't seen it yet. We knew
No.
it was coming. This has needed it the entire time that I've owned it, basically.
We've been gone for 5 weeks from home.
Yeah.
Maybe just over 5 weeks.
And this is your new carbonator. This thing is sweet. Yeah, so now your injectors are actually in the throttle body.
Oh, so it doesn't have the 4 over the top.
No, see they're like right there, the little squirter guys in there. And that's how it works. This thing is super sweet, super clean, very BA looking. And not like that one, if you see that one over there.
Clearly, quite a bit different.
So it looks like it also comes with this power distribution installation instructions and module. So that's only a couple wires. So what's cool with this is this comes with a ton of sensors and its own self-tuning programming. So we don't have to have it tuned. You get into the system and you put the size engine, the transmission, you put it all in there, and they have basically a database of already off-the-shelf tunes. Could you have it more precisely tuned?
It
Yes.
self learns to a point too. So you just give it its basics, and then it'll fine tune it from there.
Right.
No matter what, it will absolutely run better than it currently does. So.
Well, and that one has always ran fine until I'm assuming the injector driver, this module or something was going bad and just you no longer have injectors. Other than that, it's actually ran
pretty good.
really great until that happened. So
The benefit of this is it has everything is in this unit, so you don't have extra sensors. So there's only one cable now with a couple of connectors, but you used to have to run a MAF outside, temperature sensors outside, but now it's all in here. So there's just one connection into the ECU.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so there are less wires.
It's very simplified. Like if you're carbureted, if you've got an old cool carbureted car and you want more power and better reliability, they make this super simple. Where this bolt pattern bolts on to your carb manifold, and you just do a little bit of wiring and send it. Yeah, it's pretty sick.
The
What's all
kit
this?
comes with all of the fuel lines that you will need. So these are all like fuel lines. There's a fuel pump
Great, because
right
we need
here.
this.
Fuel filter. Not all of them,
Yeah.
but quite a bit of it, so that it'll go from your tank to.
This is all part of the same kit, or is this extra that we ordered?
So this is your fuel filter. That's a fuel filter. You get a fuel pump because once you go EFI, you need a fuel pump.
Which we already have a pump though. Or are you gonna swap the pump out?
Yeah, we're swapping the pump out. This one, new. That one, old.
Wait, they give you 2 fuel filters? What's this one?
I think it's a primary and an after. Also, what we also ordered. I said also twice.
Also? I didn't get a knife. I was using your little.
Okay, here we're gonna
Get a knife.
a brand new
Oh, sick. Yeah, yours is probably pretty rusted out.
Yeah.
distributor.
A distribulator?
This is a distributor. This distribulates spark all around. So we did also get one of these, And it also comes with
An ignition box
an ignition box. So now you have an ignition
for the distributor.
for the distributor.
So you'll have higher spark output, I guess, right?
Which you do currently. This is just also new. Also, not old.
So what do we do with the old stuff? Should we repurpose it to somebody? I mean, that way somebody only needs to get the fuel kit. Only somebody needs to get the throttle body kit, and then we can redistribute her. Or do you need
It is old.
We'll keep it as a backup just in case. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
hate doing that.
I don't think you're gonna. I wouldn't.
That's gonna be one of those parts that just sits on the shelf
For
the next.
That's why. Let's just give it away. Does anybody need a distributor for a 302?
I mean, are you gonna trust that distributor?
I don't know.
It's gonna need new guts and everything.
Yeah,
At
I
that
don't
point, might as well just
Whatever.
throw it
I
in.
just like giving stuff away to people for free.
And I don't even know what's in this box. Boom. Wires. Oh, coil. Big honking coil.
Ooh.
Nice.
Holy macaroni.
All right.
And we got one of these. Sweet.
So it's everything. Hey, baby, you
Yeah.
want new headlights for your buggy? The old headlights?
Oh, are those the ones off the step shaft?
Yeah.
Just blind everyone.
Well, no, you have low beam.
Yeah, they have
You have
low
low
beam.
beam, high beam, amber. We do
I
have
don't know what's
you-
on there.
Chinese stuff. Yeah, these are from China.
Yeah, these are not great.
So we put those in. You'd have low beam, high beam,
Yeah,
amber,
that'd be sick.
which is kind of cool.
And they'll probably fit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they'll fit.
Oh, you could hook up the amber to
Plate
the
pins.
momentary so they make. Well, so we're ordering a 12-panel Switch Pros,
Yes,
and we're gonna move all your stuff
to a Switch Pro.
to Switch Pros. Your winch,
simpler,
your
easier.
lights, your everything. Yeah, everything will be moved over. You're not gonna have the key anymore. It's gonna go to the Switch Pros.
Sick.
Yeah.
Ignition and everything.
Yep.
Hood pins, because
That one's broken.
I broke that one off.
That's right. What
And
were we
so
doing?
that was another big issue of why we grounded the side chick, was because every time I drove it, this hood threatened to just. So.
Yep. So we're gonna do all the body. We're gonna clean her up a little bit more, rewire it, plumb it. Should have probably 3 times the horsepower it did when it came in here. I got the ECU out finally, so I don't know if you can see, but all that's gone. Now I just have to trace where all these go to in there. I know these are like for the gauges and stuff, but as you can see, they're all green, so that's fun. So now I just got to trace these, and as you can see, they're all green, so I don't know exactly where they came from or where they're going. So they're in there somewhere, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, but you can't take this dash out. Yeah. So they bent it all up, put it in, they got it all in here, and then they went ahead and welded this flange to it into the bar, so I can't even pull the dash out, and I don't really want to cut it up yet, so we're just trying to see what we can get in there. All the fuel lines are gone. I want to take those 3 lines right there, the red, the green, and that black, and chase those out of the harness that goes up through the dash over there. So we're getting there, 1 wire at a time. Well, once the dash was welded together, it became very, very unserviceable. So we just ended up having to strip everything out of there. Those are the relays, and they're bolted somehow to this panel. Behind that, which is welded on the other end of this, is welded up this seam from this piece to this piece. So you can't even I can't even get those relays out of there now without cutting the dash up. So I'm probably gonna just end up breaking all the tabs. But I got it all out, and as you can see, every wire is red. So red or yellow were the 2 primaries. Don't do this, please. There's so many splices in, but oh, look at this. Here's one, red to yellow. So I'm searching for yellow wires that go to red, that go to things. There's so many. Just don't do this. So yeah, we're just gonna start from square one. I basically just ripped everything out because I was tired of trying to chase this, because it's not fun. Don't do that. Get more than 3 colors, and don't use trailer wiring like the brown, green, yellow, and then you have the same 4 colors running through the entire thing, which I've seen before. I've definitely seen that before on some other rigs. So we're just gonna rewire it. It shouldn't be that bad. Come to think of it, we're using the Switch Pro, so the Switch Pro should be able to do everything. So it's gonna be 1 wire. There will be grounds everywhere on the chassis. So next we're gonna yank this grill off, and I'm gonna mount some LP9s up here and get those ready to get wired in. And yeah, I'm just gonna make this a lot easier. I'm just gonna have to start from square one. Also, don't make your transmission crossmember and your skid plate all one piece, because it makes it impossible to service your transmission without dropping it. So I don't know how you would service this transmission. Like, it should be in two pieces. This piece should go all the way across, and then the skid plate should bolt to that piece, but then this piece actually come out. You can't service the transmission. I'm not exactly sure why there's a pressure regulator in line and or why it's zip tied to the frame under the seat, but I didn't even know this was here until we got the floor off. Had no idea. We need a pressure regulator for it. You just run the diff at 90 pounds. I don't know. We'll have to check that out later. So I guess this is where the cup holders are going to go. So I'm going to pull this thing out and probably make some cup holders here, because Brittany needs her sweet tea while she's on the trail. All right, we're going to do a quick demo as of why you don't use airline to run your fuel system. So if we just take this guy and we cut it open. All right, so we cut it open, and this is what it looks like inside. As soon as you open it up, see how dry it is? It's coming apart almost, like it's starting to, I don't even know if you can see it. See it cracking? It's already deteriorating. This side I had already cut open, but you can see what this side has already done. I'm saving the fittings, but that's what it does. And then all those little chips of rubber end up in your fuel system and clog injectors, which is probably part of the reason this one has clogged injectors. And this is after the filter. This is why you don't use air hose to run your fuel system. All right, so before I scrapped all of that wiring, I did pull out things that I wanted. Like, this is the starter wire, so it's already still ran. All the fans for the front are still ran. I did cut out everything that I wanted to keep so that I didn't have to run that again. Like, for instance, over here we have the fuel pump, the air compressor, and the pressure switch ground to shut off the air compressor. We did keep all that. We kept all the winch wiring because I need to keep all that. And we did cut out everything else. So I have quite the list built up of all the parts we got to order. So that's going to be a couple of days. So for now, I'm just going to clean this thing up. And I can't wait to show you what we're going to do. So this thing's going to get completely cleaned and revamped. There's a couple of tubes I want to change, a couple of bars, lots of brackets and tabs. I'm going to change the front end next week. For now, we're just going to get all these parts coming. But again, thanks for watching. Trust me, the next video is going to be way greater. Remember to like and subscribe and share. And remember, you can get all your Lite Brite merch and decals at litebritstudios.com. And this thing, we'll see you next time. Bye. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.